Hi, welcome to the 12 o'clock channel. Today we are going to take a look at a classic watch from Tudor that is lesser known in the Western market today, the Tudor Prince Date. The Tudor Prince is a line of watches that has a long history dating back to 1952, when the Tudor Oyster Prince was introduced. It was intended to be the affordable cousin of the Rolex's Perpetual series. The Tudor Prince used the same oyster case as Rolex's Oyster Perpetual, but used a third-party automatic movement rather than Rolex's proprietary movement. The Tudor Prince series grew as years went by, with a date model and a day-date model, which are Tudor's equivalent of Rolex's Datejust and Day-Date. The series is very popular in Asian market, and production ran well into the second decade of the 21st century, and it was only discontinued in the last few years. And you can still find stock online through many of Tudor's ADs. The particular model I have here is the Tudor Prince Date. It dropped the oyster labeling from its name some years ago. However, it is still the recognizable oyster case in 34mm. The case is similar to the older Rolex Air King and Oyster Perpetual models before widening of the lugs, so it retains the slimmer profile. Like Rolex's Oyster cases, it has a twin-lock screw-down crown, which gives it a 100-meter water resistance rating. The case back is also similar to Rolex, which is a simple screw-down case with brushed finishing. Note that on older models, Rolex is engraved on the case back and a Rolex crown logo for the crown. Both are now replaced by Tudor's name and logo. The crystal, again much like its more expensive cousin, is a flat sapphire crystal that protrudes from the bezel and has a date magnifier at 3 o'clock. I'm starting to get sick of mentioning the name Rolex in this review now, but that just shows how close this particular Tudor is with Rolex. Much like the case, the Tudor Prince Date kept the traits of older oyster watches by having a folded end link and stamped sheet metal clasp with a simple friction lock. The links themselves, however, are solid, which has polished center links and brushed outer links. The bracelet is the easiest telltale of the recent production Tudor Prince Date, as it has moved away from the Jubilee bracelet of the older models to a more modern 5-link flat bracelet. So far, this watch looks identical to the Rolex Oyster Date, which it does. However, the part you don't see is the main difference between this Tudor and the aforementioned Rolex. That is the movement. The movement used in the Prince Date is a Tudor-modified ETA 2824, where the balance is replaced and the gift shock absorbers are selected. It is also well regulated, so that the watch stays well within the COSC specifications without being COSC certified. The ETA 2824 is a workhorse movement and should serve well for years to come. The Tudor Prince Date comes in many forms: steel or 18-karat gold two-tone, fluted bezel or flat bezel, and a huge variety of dials to choose from. One can surely pick out a variant they like. My particular model comes with flat bezel and a beautiful linen dial. The linen dial has a fascinating texture that really adds to the character of the watch. However, due to the shimmering effect, it can be a bit hard to read in some lighting conditions. This model has baton markers with Tudor shield at 12 o'clock. Each baton markers has a lume dot at end of it. The hour and minute hands are simple polished batons with lume inserts. There are not copious amount of lume, however, they are easy enough to read in the dark. The text on the dial is kept to a minimum, with Tudor branding under 12 o'clock and the rotor self-winding text above 6 o'clock. The dial overall is restrained and classy. If you are looking for an affordable alternative to vintage Rolex Datejust or Day-Date with a slimmer case profile, then the Tudor Prince is definitely worth your attention. These watches can still be had new from many of Tudor's ADs in Asia, and these ADs can be either accessed through Chrono24 or their online sites. However, you will need to act quickly as these has been going up in price due to dwindling stock. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this review, and please subscribe to my channel. It does motivate me to add content more frequently. See you guys next time.